don't know how much that means to me. Anybody on this team or on my team knows how many times I have said the word impact over the last few months. And not only is it important to all of us individually at Microsoft, we want to make sure that what we are doing for you with office hours is impactful, because we'll learn from that. We can make our adjustments as needed. So with that, Garrett, I'm also going to turn my camera off, but I promise to pop in and add color commentary if and when it is needed. So turning it over to you guys.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Heather. Thanks everyone for joining today. So we are actually doing an Ignite announcement part 2. So a couple of weeks ago, we had our big Ignite conference where we highlighted all the new up and coming stuff across Microsoft 365 security, etc. So we had Andrea and Victoria join us last week to cover Teams. So for those watching the recording, go ahead and check out that last session. Today we're going to cover Viva, some other Microsoft 365 updates like Loop, Bookings, Stream, and then going into InTune and Windows 365. So it should be a lot of fun. So let's kick it off with Viva. I'm really excited about this. We have started, we've seen the Viva Suite grow over time, right? We've had connections, topics, insights, learning. We're continuing to see new products like goals being implemented. And so we actually have announced a streamlined Viva experience that's bringing it all together within connections. So we've introduced this concept of cards, and we are integrating the other products together into a great streamlined experience. So integrating the learning cards into the main experience that's personalized with selected interests. So topics cards encourages employees to explore new knowledge areas and contribute to topics. So I'm just really excited for the streamlined experience. The other thing that I'm really excited about is bringing focus mode into Teams. If you use focus mode on Windows today, it's like that within Teams itself. So we are going to kind of reduce that strain of high meeting load by understanding your practices on sending emails. We're going to reduce those distractions within Teams, allow you to set aside regular focus times to block your calendar, and then creating a focus mode experience where you can play music that's relaxing and do mindfulness exercises directly from Headspace. We've kind of had that integration with Insights, but we're bringing it into focus mode. So I'm really excited about this announcement. Next up, we've got some updates in Praise, a new refined UI with some exciting new badges and emojis, ability to introduce gradient backgrounds and things like that to make it prettier. So just a fun update to the Praise app. I think this community loves the Praise app, so I know I use it all the time. From a Learn perspective, we introduced the concept of learning paths and learning collections. So if you are an admin or a knowledge manager or a learning program manager, you're now able to create sequenced sets of learning resources directly from in Viva Learning. So instead of them being separate, you could create a sequenced event for learning paths. I think this is going to be huge for new employee onboarding, or specific on-the-job trainings, right? Being able to create a sequenced set of learning content. And then also learning collections, which will actually allow individual users to create personal collections of their learning content, again, sourced from various learning platforms and other LMSs, not like Canvas and Blackboard and things like that, but your what are some of that I'm thinking, because I'm brain dead right now.
Like Coursera,
and yes, exactly. Yep. So again, integrating all of that and allowing individuals to create their own personalized collections, I think is going to be really exciting. Some additional updates around topics, being able to expand from chats and Teams. You're going to have those topics cards integrated directly into chat. New dedicated space for Viva topics within SharePoint pages. So again, thinking about bringing that suite together and integrating it across M365. Additional adoption health status and dashboards. I think that's going to be great if you're trying to drive adoption of Viva usage. And then bringing topics cards into the daily briefing email, as well as language expansion. Connections suggested dashboard cards and the Viva Engage, which is one of the newer products. Kind of looks like Yammer. I think it actually is Yammer on the back end. That Yammer feed content, bringing all of that directly into connections. And then the Viva Learning, we now have the mobile app GA'd with a new homepage experience for mobile. So if you haven't seen that yet, definitely go check that out. We also have some new capabilities on the admin tab. So again, if you're a learning admin or a knowledge manager, you've got some new capabilities available to you. And we also have deep integration. We announced deep integration with SAP SuccessFactors. So if you're leveraging that in your environment today, you should have some cool new capabilities, as well as new partner integrations from LMS 365, SumTotal, Udacity, and KPMG. I actually hadn't heard of some of these, but I'm excited about the Udacity one. Viva Engage, if anyone's using it yet, you may have seen the new storyline feature, which allows you to publish content within your organization. That's now GA. We also have Viva Engage built directly into Outlook. And there's a new leadership corner, which is going to give you the ability to manage the storyline posts and content, which I think will be great for being able, just organization purposes. It's not, when I saw Leadership Corner, I initially thought it was going to be something like with Insights where leaders would be able to see that, but it's really around you being able to control the content and having a good overview of the content that you're publishing and keeping it organized. With Viva Goals, we also announced the new status of being able to visualize the status of your OKRs directly in Power BI, which is a welcome addition. I think a lot of people were looking forward to that integration. And then we've also integrated clarity into, or bringing alignment from your OKRs directly into Azure DevOps. So if anyone's using Azure DevOps, I think OKRs and Azure DevOps really go hand in hand. So bringing that alignment is extremely welcome. We also connected the dots between daily tasks and OKRs with Planner. So I think Planner got a little bit of love. We'll talk about a few updates that we have around Planner, but integrating Viva Goals into Planner was awesome. Some additional third-party integrations. And then finally, we have some new IT admin capabilities. So again, a lot of you on the call that are managing those Viva environments, you're able to initiate the configuration, deployment, and license management of all of your Viva applications from a central location in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. Again, just simplicity and adding value there. The big news, if you didn't catch it, moving on to generally Microsoft 365, was that we are going through a rebranding. So Office 365 is now Microsoft 365. I've seen lots of different takes on this. I'm personally excited about this. I'm really excited about the new Microsoft 365 app that we announced in correlation with this. So if you're using the Office app today, I actually use the Office app all the time. I have it set to start up when I run on my machine whenever I turn on my machine in the morning. But we're bringing new capabilities into that Microsoft 365 app, including a feed to know all of the activity that you may have missed. Again, this is expanding across Microsoft 365 services. And so really excited about that app getting some new love. And I'm excited for the announcement of the rebrand. Microsoft Loop. I wish Andrew were here because I know she's ecstatic about this. We talked about this, but the new Microsoft Loop, we debuted the UI for the new pane to go create Loop content. So we've used Loop components in other Office products or Microsoft 365 products like Teams, but now having a desktop UI that we can go into and create this content. It's very similar to OneNote. I actually think I demoed this briefly on our call last week, but being able to create new content, and these components can each be integrated into other components of Microsoft 365, like email, for example. So you can take this Loop component and automatically add it into email, but we also now have these new live docs. So this is in private preview now. hopefully public preview is just around the corner. We have it available to us. I've been playing with it. I think this could be more exciting than OneNote, which I didn't think I would say because I love OneNote. But Loop is super, super fun and easy and cool. So I can't wait for you guys to try it out. Big announcements from Microsoft Stream. We announced that all videos will be now directly in the Microsoft 365 app, the Stream app within, the Office.com homepage. We now have introduced the new Stream Start page, so you can search for your video, see meeting recordings, view recommended or shared videos, all of that from the homepage, manage permissions too. So really exciting stuff from the Stream Start page. I think we've had a couple of the customers already see this and adopt this, but it is officially available for everyone. But what's even more exciting is that we announced the migration from Stream Classic tool. So if you have been looking to migrate your content from Stream Classic, there's a process. Our docs have been updated to tell you how to do this. This tool used to be in private preview. It is now in public preview, so you can now start migrating your content from Stream Classic. We were talking about this with the Office Rangers, and I think this probably deserves another call just on Stream and Stream migration and what the process looks like. So if you're interested in that, thumbs up so that we know we'll get something scheduled. But I'm really excited to share that this is now in preview and you can start migrating your content. Awesome. Microsoft Bookings. Bookings got some love too. Outside of the new capabilities that we announced as part of our Teams Premium Suite with the virtual appointments, Bookings itself got some love where we now have a Power Automate connector. So this is going to help keep track of potential customer leads with integration with things like Dynamics 365. That's a great example that they used at least. So being able to now trigger specific actions from Bookings, such as when an appointment is created, add a new action to a Dataverse table or something like that. So really exciting that we now have a Power Automate connector for some advanced configurations. And then we also announced post-appointment reminders for follow-up consultations. So this is specific to Bookings. It is kind of similar to that virtual appointments scenario, but now admins of Bookings pages can configure email follow-ups to the customer for specific intervals. So I think the first one, you can configure for like 15 minutes after an appointment and ask the customer for feedback or something like that. So just a really neat addition when we think of the workflow of a virtual appointment. We also, for our admins, announced a naming policy. So a new policy which allows tenant admins to manage the naming policy for all booking pages within the organization. This will be available in the admin center. You can create a list of blocked words, for example. I think it's going to be very similar to the naming convention that we can put in place with Azure AD. We're going to have the same capabilities for bookings calendars as well. I think we're also introducing the prefix and the suffix as well. So just again, from a governance perspective, really exciting that we've got that coming. Okay, I highlighted earlier, kind of alluded to some updates with Planner. We talked about integration with Viva Goals here, but this is kind of what it looks like. So this will be really exciting to be able to get this integration. The progress of Viva Goals will be visible in your Planner, see the latest status, and you'll have a lot more up-to-date information. So I think this will bring some new life into Planner and start leveraging it in a more tactical way. And now for those project plans that grew larger than you expected them to, we can now export Planner projects into Microsoft Project specifically. So you can retain all that data if you realize that this project has grown to be bigger than you thought it was going to be, and now you need a Gantt chart. A simple way to be able to export that directly into Project and save all your data. I think this is a very welcome addition. And then we announced, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this because this is super exciting. a rebrand of Microsoft InTune. So for those of you who have been around, you know that we introduced Microsoft InTune to help solve the cloud management challenges that we didn't want to invest in from an on-premises infrastructure with SCCM. So we introduced Microsoft InTune. Then we rebranded it to Microsoft Endpoint Manager a couple of years ago to be holistic of the unified endpoint management story. We are bringing that back. So we're like unbranding, if you want to call it that. Basically, we're rebranding back to Microsoft Intune to be encompassing all of the endpoint management suite. So Autopilot, Endpoint Analytics, Configuration Manager, it all is going to be under the Microsoft Intune name. At first, I was a little caught off guard on why we would be doing this, but if you look at the Microsoft Security Suite, you're going to see that we've got things like Microsoft Entra, Defender, Sentinel, Purview, Priva. So Intune just kind of fits into that naming convention, if you will. But even more exciting than that, we announced a new advanced management suite. And I wanted to call this out because I mean, as someone who does device management as my job, I'm like giddy. Remote help we have introduced before. It's free for education users today. So if you don't have that in your tenant, you can get that enabled through the Intune console. But remote help is a new solution that we can provide remote assistance to our end users. And so we announced new capabilities for remote help. We announced this back in April, I believe, and you can start trialing it right now. But what's cool about this is that it's not going to support just Windows, but we introduced that we are now going to support Android devices that are managed by Intune as well. So we know that some customers have been using integrations like TeamViewer and things like that. This is going to be baked in for education. It's going to be part of this advanced management suite. I don't know what the cost is going to be for the entire advanced management suite, but remote help is free for education, so I want to call that out. Really exciting about remote help. The next component is Tunnel for mobile app management. So if you are using Intune to do mobile app management to secure your applications and protect data governance on inside of those applications, maybe this is on enrolled devices, maybe this is on BYO devices that are not enrolled or managed via MDM. You may be using mobile app management. What's really cool about our new announcement with Tunnel is that Tunnel will actually establish a VPN connection to leverage. So not only are we securing the data within the app, but we're also going to secure the traffic on how you access that app. So Tunnel is a super cool announcement. At first, I was kind of like, why are we doing this? But once I heard about it and understood where the impact is, I think this is going to be a huge asset for customers. The most exciting announcement that we made was for endpoint privilege management. This has been a long time ask for customers. Endpoint privilege management is going to allow admins to delegate control for specific applications or processes to be elevated by the end user. So think about, we often see in K-12 districts, for example, that there are teachers that still have admin rights locally. And so if we want to make them standard users, that introduces some strain on the help desk, right? Because they want to install an application, things like that. For security purposes, obviously, we need everyone to be a standard user. So having an endpoint privilege management solution where Intune can identify specific executables and we can allow end users to elevate those processes. Essentially, we're going to bless those applications to be elevated as a standard user without contacting the help desk is huge. This is super exciting stuff. I mean, I think a lot of organizations have been using third-party or trying to create a third-party solution, but bringing this natively to Windows with integration into Intune that's fully managed. I'm seeing lots of clapping hands and hearts like shouted on top of the mountains, right? March 2023, we will see endpoint privilege management. Stay tuned. Again, I don't know what the cost is going to be for this. It will be part of the advanced management suite, but just overwhelming excitement. And then finally, advanced endpoint analytics. So if you're using endpoint analytics today to derive specific insights within your organization, so things like startup times, boot times, application reliability, we are extending these reports to identify like specific anomalies and help identify specific applications that are causing performance issues and giving you very intelligent insights into that. So I love endpoint analytics, and I'm really excited to see the new features coming in. On top of that, more to come. The Advanced Management Suite is something that Microsoft is going to continue to invest in over time. And so you're going to see new capabilities coming out. Again, when we think about InTune, there have been some gaps, and you've had to use some third-party tools to leverage. So we're hoping that this will help customers reduce the need for those third-party applications. Some of the ones that I didn't list in here, threat and vulnerability management, automatic app patching, cloud certificate stores, all of those were highlighted as things that are coming down the pipe. So just awesome stuff. Again, I had to spend time on this because this is my passion, and I'm so excited. The other thing that I didn't get a slide in here that I wanted to call out was we also made an announcement around Windows Lapse. In some of the decks and some of the content that we saw from Ignite, it was called Cloud Lapse, but basically this is Lapse for Azure AD join machines. Huge news from the security front. That is coming soon. The docs are actually live, so if you want to go check that out, you can. Just search docs.microsoft.com or learn.microsoft.com, I should say, because we rebranded to Learn. Search Windows Lapse and you can go read the docs, but really exciting to bring Cloud Lapse, which is outside of the Advanced Management Suite. We're bringing it directly into Windows and integrated into Intune, so woohoo! And then some big Windows 365 news. We announced a new Windows 365 app, which is hitting public preview. So if you have been trying out Windows 365 cloud PCs, back in the spring, we highlighted an experience where there was a specific dedicated app to access your virtual machines. We have released that into public preview, which is a really cool app. I've already done. You can get it from the Microsoft Store and test it out. We also announced that for your friends in government cloud, that Windows 365 is now available in GCC High. So if any of you are specifically higher education customers, we know that some of the academic medical centers might cater towards that government community cloud or cloud high scenarios. Windows 365 was announced as general availability for government, which we're excited about. Some other announcements around this was integration with Citrix and some other capabilities, but the big one that I wanted to share was the Windows 365 app. So I wanted to highlight a couple of other things around identity and security. We announced the new, I don't have slides for them, but we announced the new intra permissions management and workflow and governance capabilities. So I would encourage you to go check those solutions out. And we also had some really cool announcements around Defender for Cloud and the capabilities that bring. I don't have a summary of those right now. I should have added it in here. But yes, I feel like I breezed through that really fast. That is all I had. I know this was a part one of part two. We will, I think everyone asked for a slide deck last time, so I'll be sure to share this out. But it was a huge Ignite for Microsoft 365 all up, and we're excited to bring this to you. So I will answer any questions.
Greg's got his hand up.
Go ahead, Scott.
No, Greg.
Oh, Greg.
No, that was the wrong button.
Oh, all right. Well, he
no,
just, he wanted to
alone.
say hi. You know what? So what we can do is we can do an outro instead of, we missed our intro. So we'll do an outro. You know,
right.
we've got to wrap it up. As soon as you started talking, and then I didn't want to cut you off. So you know what? We're going to do the outro.
I was just running.
So thank you, everybody. This was MS Office Hours on Thursday, October 27th. I was one of your hosts, Heather Cox. My other two hosts and our speaker are
Hi guys, Stephanie Stevens. This was an awesome job. Garrett, thank you. We've got a request for 3.0 version because we've got some things we didn't really get into. So yes, we'll do that as a maybe a holiday wrap up, winter wrap up.
I like that.
We'll do a winter wrap up when we have a little bit more information.
You know what? If you're going to do winter wrap up, I will pull in the My Little Pony song winter wrap up because quite literally that one exists. I'm not going to sing it now, but you know what? We'll play it at the start of our winter wrap up. But I am with Dwayne. I want to see some more about Designer as a.
Okay, well, I was going to stop the recording.
I think we can do like a whole thing on Designer though.
You know, I think that was it, right? Like we should. There's so much to cover. Like I'm hoping this builds out content for kind of the rest of the year that we'll dive into. The one I intentionally didn't include Designer because at launch it's only going to support MSA accounts, so we can't use this in EDU scenarios. However, and we may not. We'll have to cut the recording from here, Heather. But
wait. I'll just cut it now. Hang on.